pass through a long phase of transition after 1789, and we have to understand that what is that phase of transition. Now this is the point of discussion, that what was that phase of transition, which important developments took place between 1815 and 1789. This is our discussion today. 1815 in history is known for Congress of Vienna or Vienna Convention. Okay, this is known for Congress of Vienna or Vienna Convention. That is an important convention. I will also discuss about this in detail, but here let's discuss what happened after 1789. In last class, I have drawn a simple sketch here to make you understand this transitional phase of development. Okay, so the first phase was 1789 to 1792. Okay, open your notes, you will find this. I have already drawn this sketch. The second phase here was 1792 to 1795. Okay, that was the second phase of the development. The third phase of the development here was 1795 to 1799, and the fourth phase of the development here was 1799 to 1804. These were the important developments. And lastly, there was one more phase during this period, and that is 1804 to 1814-15. This is written like this. So first we will understand that why these phases were divided. Okay, this phase is the phase of transition. Okay, this phase indicates the transitional phase of transition after French Revolution. So this is transitional phase after French Revolution. Now this phase 1789 to 1792 is known by the name of Moderate Republican Phase. Clear? And there are important reasons for naming these phases. This phase is known as Moderate Republicanism Phase. Moderate Republicanism Phase. 1792 to 1795 in French history is known as Phase of Radical Republicanism. So this is known as Phase of Radical Republicanism. We have to understand the terminologies here, then the entire concept will become clear. So that is Phase of Radical Republicanism. This phase in French history 1795 to 99 is known as 5-men directory rule. This is known as 5-men directory rule. Clear? That is very simple. And this phase 1799 to 1804, here in France there was a system. In short, we can call it 3-men consulate system. In short, we can call it 3-men consulate system. And here this is the year 1805 when Napoleon becomes the emperor of France. Here, and that is very important because here the revolution started for the system of republics, and here the people of France are again opting for a ruler who is emperor. Okay, so here Napoleon becomes emperor. And this phase in French history is known as Napoleon's era. So 1804 to 1845 was the period where Napoleon influenced not only France, but he was able to influence the entire Europe. He is known for his military victories. He is also known for Napoleon Court. Okay, so we'll discuss about Napoleon also in detail, and that is the part of our discussion. Now I'm asking you some basic questions that we are calling this phase of moderate republicanism. We are calling this phase of radical republicanism. Okay, so what is the difference between moderate and radical? Okay, so I will make a comparison. That comparison is not, you can say that exact comparison, but I think some words you are clearly understanding. For example, In modern Indian history, you must have heard about moderates and extremists. Have you heard about this? Moderates and extremists. Clear? We will also discuss this in detail in our modern Indian history classes, but I think you are familiar. Moderates and extremists. So, who are extremists? Extremists are radical moderates. Clear? It means when the demands of moderates become more radical, they are known as extremists. For example, in Indian national history, during the freedom movement, the early nationalists, a group of early nationalists, believed in what? Sense of justice of Britishers. They believed in negotiations, that we will negotiate with British, right? And British will ultimately give us some political relaxation. And by utilizing these political relaxations, we will get some sort of political training, and ultimately we will be able to make the country independent after a gradual period of time. Here, what word I am using? After a gradual period of time. It means the moderates did not believe in sudden change in Indian national history. उनको लगता था अगर sudden change होगा तो we are not still well trained in the political skills of how the democratic methods will be operated in our country. So that was the main reason. Okay, now what will happen? Now the extremists will come and they will say that we don't believe in this system of negotiation. We want complete independence and complete freedom. And for that, if it is needed to launch a movement, if it is needed to fight with the Britishers, we are ready to do that. Okay, we don't believe in British sense of justice. And we want what? Sudden results. We don't believe in this gradual process of reform. So that is what the demands are more radical. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? जैसे गुलजार साहब ने एक लाइन लिखी है, अगर कवि होता एक्सट्रीमिस्ट तो कैसा होता. ठीक है, उन्होंने मॉडर्न इंडियन हिस्ट्री का कॉन्टेक्स्ट में नहीं लिखा है, बट इट्स लाइक दिस कि गलत बातों को सुनना खामोशी से और हामी भर देना. ठीक है, गलत बातों को सुनना खामोशी से हामी भर देना. ठीक है, अच्छा तो होता है, ठीक है, बट जी नहीं करता, ऐसा उन्होंने लिखा. यानी कि दीज एक्सट्रीमिस्ट पीपल आर नॉट रेडी to accept the system or the policy of colonial exploitations that were promoted by the British in India. उन्होंने कहा नहीं, we don't believe in British sense of justice. They are exploiting and we are opposing. The same thing is happening here. After French Revolution in Europe, in France, we see two groups emerged. दो ग्रुप यहाँ पे emerge करते हैं. ठीक है, two groups emerged here. And which are these two groups in France? Now we are talking about two groups in France. One group is known as Jacobins, Girondists. One group here is known as Girondists. It is very important to learn the meaning of these words. Otherwise, the topic will remain difficult for you. One word is Jacobins. So there are two words. One word is Jacobins and the second word is Girondists. So in French Revolution history, these Girondists were the moderate groups. They were like the moderate groups. These Girondists were the like the moderate groups. Okay, and why we are calling them moderate groups? There is a reason behind this. For example, the ultimate aim of French Revolution was what? To bring revolution. यही तो था ना? This was the ultimate aim of French Revolution, to bring the revolution. Now what is the point here? To bring the revolution means to bring which system, which political system? कौन सा political system लाना था? Before France, there was absolute monarchical setup in France. Na? The political system was what? Absolute monarchical political setup. This was the political setup. Absolute monarchism. Right? That was the political system. Absolute monarchism. There was no any restrictions on the power of the ruler. So the people were inspired by the progressive ideas of revolution. So the people want what? Absolute monarchical system or system of republic. System of republic. Very good. Okay, so this was the general demand of the people, that we want what? A system of republic that was based on the progressive ideas of revolution. That is their main demand. Clear? This was their faith in revolution, that when revolution will take place, we will get this system of republic. That was the idea. But what is the important twist here? After this revolution, after 1789, what happened? Before this, there was absolute monarchical political setup in France, and now after this, which political system comes? So that is constitutional monarchy. This will come. Constitutional monarchy will come. And constitutional monarchy simply means what? Okay, the king's power are restricted by constitution or by national assembly or by constituent assembly. It means there will be a constituent assembly also, there will be a national assembly also, and that here the power of the king or the power of the ruler will not be absolute. That is the main idea here. The power of the king will not be absolute. Are you getting my point? Clear? But is this the ideal of revolution? क्या यही revolution से expected था? No, this was not the ideal of the revolution, right? So this constitutional monarchy came. Why constitutional monarchy came in France? So in last class I have discussed with you that when revolution took place, a king's aide servant came to king and said that, Saab, okay, the people are assembled at the Bastille and this is the fall of the Bastille. The ruler asked that, is this the revolt? And what was the response of the servant? No sir, this is a revolution. ये revolt नहीं है, revolution है, right? Now what happened? When the commoners will declare their support for the representatives of the commoners will say that we are supporting the spirit of the revolution. And what is the size of population of the commoners? 95%, 92 to 95%, 95 to 97%. Different books mention different, you can say that number, but it's majority population, 90%, 95% population. If they are supporting, now from clergy class, who will come in the support of the commoners? From clergy class, who will come in the support of the commoners? What will be the answer? You know this. Lower clergies will come in the support of the commoners because they were already dissatisfied with the upper clergies, right? This will happen. Okay, commoners is a very heterogeneous class. Bankers, teachers, all came in support of the spirit of revolution. Now the king realized the intensity of this situation. Now the king will also announce that I am with the spirit of revolution. फंसा दिया अब king ने. King is announcing what? That I am with the spirit of revolution. I am supporting the idea of revolution. Now what will happen? The revolutionary forces, okay, they will decide something that, okay, we will come with a new system that will be constitutional monarchy where there will be the king, but the power of the king will not be absolute. So the king is saved here, the king is protected here, and now the new system is constitutional monarchy. Okay, now another twist. Whenever any revolution take place, आज के टाइम में भी आप देखो कि if I come to all of you कि मैं एक आंदोलन करने जा रहा हूँ, सब मेरे साथ आओ, तो आप लोग आ तो जाओगे, लेकिन इसमें नेता कौन बनेगा? मैं ही बनूंगा ना. मेरी बात समझ गए? मैं कहूँगा मैं गरीबों की आवाज़ उठा रहा हूँ, आई एम फाइटिंग फॉर द वुमेन, कॉज ऑफ दलित्स एंड पीपल कम बिहाइंड मी, एंड फाइनली हु विल बिकम द लीडर? जब भी आंदोलन होता है तो दो चार नए नेता पैदा हो जाते हैं. ठीक है, ये आज़ादी के बाद से इतिहास है, लंबे समय तक वो पॉलिटिक्स में बने रहते हैं. यहाँ भी जब 1789 का रेवोल्यूशन होगा, व्हाट विल हैपन? ओके, हु विल इमर्ज एज द लीडर्स? द लोअर क्लास, लोअर मिडिल क्लास और अपर मिडिल क्लास. कौन लीडर्स की भूमिका में आएगा? जस्ट मेक अ गेस. लोअर क्लास, लोअर मिडिल क्लास और अपर मिडिल क्लास. अपर मिडिल क्लास. ठीक है, अपर मिडिल क्लास. अपर मिडिल क्लास की एस्पिरेशंस बहुत हाई होती हैं. नाउ अपर मिडिल क्लास क्या होता है? अपर मिडिल क्लास इज एजुकेटेड और नॉट? यस, ठीक है, नो, इट ऑलमोस्ट वेल सेटल्ड. ठीक है, ऑलमोस्ट वेल सेटल्ड. ठीक है, उसको एटलीस्ट रोजी रोटी की चिंता नहीं होती है. नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन व्हेन द रिवॉल्यूशन टुक प्लेस? ओके, द एजुकेटेड क्लास अमॉन्ग द कॉमनर्स who were the upper middle class, they came forward. They were the representatives also. And when after 1789 what will happen? Clear, they will be in power. they will be the members of Constituent Assembly, they will be the members of National Assembly. यानी कि जो कॉमनर्स का पॉपुलेशन था उसमें भी जो क्रीम पे बैठे हुए लोग थे, इलीट लोग थे, उन्होंने रेवोल्यूशन को क्या किया, लीड किया. एंड दे वर एजुकेटेड पीपल, पढ़े लिखे लोग थे. सो दे से व्हाट नाउ, these people are moderate people. In national movement also, when Indian National Congress was formed in 1885, and when you will read about the formation of regional political associations, you will find that most of the early nationalist leaders were highly educated. Most of them were Western educated also. Got it? They were belonging to the family of rich landlords, and many of them were lawyers. Many of them were related to the upper class of the society. ये Indian national movement में भी था. The same happened here, right? The benefits of the revolution were reaped by the upper middle class of population. Now they are saying that, yes, the moderates are saying that, yes, we have strong faith in the ideas of revolution. This is moderate group, and what they are saying that we have strong faith in the ideas of revolution, in the spirit of revolution. We have strong faith in the ideas of revolution. क्रांति के विचारों में हमारा गहरा विश्वास है. We have a strong faith in the ideas of revolution. Okay, but we believe in gradual reforms. Clear? They say that we believe in what? Gradual reforms. ठीक है? We believe in gradual reforms. ठीक है? We believe in republic. लेकिन ये सिस्टम ऑफ रिपब्लिक अचानक नहीं आ जाएगा. वी बिलीव इन ग्रेजुअल रिफॉर्म्स. वी नीड टू इंट्रोड्यूस ग्रेजुअल रिफॉर्म्स, एंड वी डोंट सपोर्ट यूज ऑफ वायलेंस और फोर्स. दे आर सेइंग व्हाट? वी डोंट सपोर्ट यूज ऑफ वायलेंस और फोर्स. वी डोंट सपोर्ट यूज ऑफ वायलेंस और फोर्स. ठीक है, हम इस चीज में विश्वास नहीं करते हैं. वी डोंट सपोर्ट यूज ऑफ वायलेंस एंड फोर्स. And what happened when the constitution will be formed in France? Basically, the constitution was drafted in this year, 1791. The constitution was drafted in France in 1791, right? So when this constitution was drafted, the members of Constituent Assembly were the moderates only. ये moderates ही थे. ठीक है? They came to power, or you can say that they hijacked this revolution. They reaped the benefit of this revolution. ठीक है, ये revolution hijack हो गया. hijack इसलिए हो गया क्योंकि now in this new political setup they are dominating. Okay, in National Assembly, in Constituent Assembly, their number is larger. Okay, their number is larger. So this group is known as Girondist. Now what about Jacobins group? Acha, this class they mainly belong to what? Upper middle class. Here which class will come? Upper middle class. Now this is also heterogeneous, so you can easily relate. Now Jacobins, lower class people, or you can say that lower middle class people, and obviously this size of population is larger. When you will compare to that, the size of the population is larger. यहाँ पे जनसंख्या का आकार बड़ा, size of the population is larger. Got it? Now they say that we believe we have strong faith in the ideas of revolution. Now they are saying what? That we have strong faith in the ideas of revolution. क्रांति के विचारों में हमारा गहरा विश्वास है. We will not compromise less than the system of republics. इससे compromise नहीं होगा. It means we want republic at any cost. They are saying that we want republics at any cost, because revolution was for the same purpose. We wanted a system of republic, and we want republic at any cost. So there will be no any compromises. We want republic at any cost. Now what happens? The third point, they are saying that if it is needed to use force, if it is needed that without violence this system of republics could not be used, so we are also ready to do violence for that purpose. ठीक है, तो ये अलग तेवर वाले लोग हैं, right? They say that use of force, if it's needed, we will do that. So there are two ideologies, two groups. ठीक है, if you will relate it, it's not exact relation, but it is similar to the moderates and extremists in, okay, इंडियन नेशनल मूवमेंट, बट ये उतना भी सिमिलर नहीं है. इंडिया में जो एक्सट्रीमिस्ट थे, राइट, ओके, दे वर नॉट लाइक जैकोबिन्स. जैकोबिन्स बहुत खतरनाक लोग थे, तो वी कैन नॉट मेक एन एग्जैक्ट कंपैरिजन. ठीक है, तो इसको एग्जैक्ट कंपैरिजन नहीं बना, बट इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड द आइडिया यू कैन इजिली अंडरस्टैंड दिस. नाउ again I am coming to this phase. What is the name of this phase? The phase of moderate republicanism. It means who is dominating at the political scene here? कौन dominate कर रहा है? Girondists or Jacobins? So the answer is Girondists. Very simple. So this phase is phase of moderate republicanism. It means who is dominating here? So the moderate group, Girondists are dominating here. Girondists are dominating here. This is the phase of radical republicanism. So again it's clear who is dominating here. So here Jacobins are dominating. Here Jacobins are dominating. This is very interesting idea. Jacobins are dominating. And this phase in French history is also known as reign of terror. Atank ka Raj. This phase in French history is also known as reign of terror. इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? आतंक का राज्य, reign of terror. Now what is this? 1792, 95 to 95, 5 main directory rule. I will discuss the concepts now. पहले तो इतनी बात आपको समझ में आई, why this is called moderate republicanism phase, why this is called radical republicanism. Here 3 main consulate system, and this is what here Napoleon comes to power. So I will discuss each and every idea here. Okay, now the first phase we are going to discuss. What are the important developments in first phase? What are the important development in first phase? 1789 to 1792. What are the important developments? Sketches draw कर रहे हो कि नहीं आप लोग? ठीक है, sketches draw करना. This is very scientific. You can use the sketches in your answers also. That will be helpful for you, right? What happened between this period? Now between this period, when the revolution will take place, they will decide, the people will decide that progressive ideas of revolution will be applied. Constitution का मतलब ही हो गया, it means the position of king will be retained, position of king will be retained, plus progressive ideas of revolution, that is constitution, will be drafted. Constitution will be drafted. When constitution will be drafted, do you think that in that case the power of the king will be absolute? No, in that case the power of the king will not be absolute. So here the power will be what? Relative. उस केस में king का power absolute नहीं होगा. King का power क्या होगा? The power of the king will be relative. It will be restricted. There will be restrictions on the power of the king. Okay, now constitution will be drafted. Now tell me, for this what was needed? Like Indian history, you will say that a constituent assembly was needed. First, to draft the constitution, what was needed? Constituent assembly. For example, just relate it with Indian history. Okay, constituent assembly, you will read about constituent assembly. Okay, cabinet mission came, gave proposals. Okay, short term proposals, long term proposals, right? Constituent assembly was formed 1946 to 1949. आपको याद होगा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाने का काम हुआ, राइट? हाउ द मेंबर्स ऑफ दिस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली विल बी सेलेक्टेड, दिस ऑल वाज डिसाइडेड. तो पहले तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली बनी ना, एंड फॉर शॉर्ट टर्म देयर वाज एन इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट. ठीक है, बट व्हेन इंडिया बिकम्स इंडिपेंडेंस, so what will happen? Elections will take place. Elections will take place. The first election took place, and then the first national government will come into existence in that independent India. But before that, what was needed? Before that, constitution was needed. The same will be decided here also, that we will make a constitution. Now there was a provision that those members who will be the members of constituent assembly will not be selected as a members of legislative assembly. ठीक है, it means obviously there will be a legislative assembly at a later stage. So it's saying that those who are the members of constituent assembly, okay, for example, अगर आप constituent assembly के member हो गए, so you will not be selected as members of legislative assembly. आगे चल के आप legislative assembly के member नहीं बनोगे. उसमें एक प्रोविजन था. Now what happens here? Okay, that obviously the moderate, the educated people will come forward, the upper middle class people will come forward, they will draft the constitution, and in 1791 this constitution was drafted. The constitution was drafted in 1791. Constitution was drafted, right? Now a legislative assembly, at this, a legislative assembly will also come into existence. Constitution was drafted, a legislative assembly will also come into existence. Legislative assembly will also come into existence. Okay, and now it will be decided that, okay, declaration of rights, separation of power, declaration of rights, separation of power, all these progressive values will be applied to this constitution, right? Domination of church or religion will also be curtailed. It means all these progressive ideas or the ideas of revolution will be applied. ठीक है, मतलब progressive बातें ही हो रही है कि all this will be applied. Okay, we will try to bring reforms by this. All this will be applied. Okay, and they decided that yes, the king's position will be retained. The king's position will be retained. ठीक है, king's position will be retained. Okay, sovereignty resides in the people. It will be also decided कि संप्रभुता लोगों में निहित होती है. It will be said that sovereignty resides in the people. Sovereignty resides in the people. This idea will also be applied, that the sovereignty resides in the people. Declaration of rights. All men are free and equal in their rights. This will also become Declaration of Rights. All men are free and equal. All men are free and equal in their rights. This idea was also applied. Okay, but in spite of all these, the status of true republic was not achieved. ठीक है ना? In spite of all these, the status of true republics was not achieved, and this was a matter of great concern. And there was a group of people, representatives, who was representing mainly the lower middle class, who was constantly saying that, okay, they were constantly opposing the position of the king or the office of the king. It means these people are in power, moderates are in power, and who is like opposition? The Jacobins are like opposition, and they are constantly making demand that the position of the king must be, okay, must be abolished. There should not be any king. They were continuously making the demand, and they were saying that we want republics at any cost. Now after revolution, how many years have passed here? 1789 to 1792, how many years have passed? 3 years have passed. 3 years have passed. Now the people had a lot of expectations from this revolution. उम्मीदें बहुत ज़्यादा थी. I have already discussed about the challenges in France. There were the economic challenges in society. The feudal elements were dominating, right? And you can say that at diplomatic level also, and you can that France was also not that much powerful country. At that time, the balance of power was not in the favor of France, and this will also hurt the nationalist sentiments of the people. So this was the entire story here. ठीक है, पूरी स्टोरी ये है कि in France after this revolution, after 1789, the economic challenges were intact. वो जैसे की तैसे बनी हुई थी, right? Economic challenges or economic crisis was still there, and this was a transition phase. So economic challenge will be solved, or it will become more serious. It will become more serious unless until there is a progressive government. Here the people are fighting among themselves that there should be moderate or there should be republicanism. Now at the same time, what we see is that the foreign powers, okay, the neighboring states, in most of the countries of the Europe, there was what? There was monarchical setup, absolute monarchical setup. So do you think that those countries who have the absolute monarchical system as a political system or political setup, will they support this revolution in France? No. Will they support the constitutional monarchical status in France? No. Will they support that the Bourbon power or the Bourbon king's position has been reduced and his rights has been curtailed by the implementation of the constitution? No. They will not like it. So what will happen? They will try to invade France. Why they will try to invade France? Again, to bring back the regressive changes. They will make attempts to bring back the absolute monarchical system again. They will again try to bring back or to retain the same power of the Bourbon king again. उसको फिर से उतना ही powerful बनाना चाहते हैं, and that's why what we see the the challenge of frequent invasion on France. Okay, and these are all threats of foreign invasion. Economic challenges have been retained there. Okay, the republics have not been completely established, and now the Jacobin leaders were raising these issues in the public among the masses that देखो revolution किया और हमें कितने आसानी से बेवकूफ बना दिया. The revolution has been hijacked. मुद्दा हमारा था और मिडिल क्लास ने, अपर मिडिल क्लास ने क्या किया, इस मुद्दे को हाईजैक कर लिया. एंड देन व्हाट हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग द सेम फेज? Girondist leaders, okay, will start developing matrimonial relations with the king families. ठीक है? And what will happen? This will create a very bad impression. ठीक है? मेरी बात समझ गया ना कि suppose there is a security guard, he becomes IAS by his talent, by his merit, by his hard labor, and then he established matrimonial relations in the family of a minister. Okay, वैसा ही था कुछ, right? Now what will happen? The people are looking at all this, that the upper middle class, okay, was leading this revolution, and now they are establishing matrimonial relations with the families of the nobles, with the families of the kings. Now they felt cheated. Okay, now what will happen? They are the voice of dissent. Who are the voice of dissent? Jacobins are the voice of dissent. So the people will support the voice of dissent or not? Yes, the people will support the voice of dissent. And what will happen? With the people's support, in 1798, forcefully the power will be changed here. In 1798. So in 1798, what we see, that the power has now been hijacked by the Jacobins. अब किसके हाथ में पावर आ गई? जैकोबिन्स के हाथ में. 1792 to 1795, the power was hijacked by Jacobins. And Jacobins are moderate or republican radicals, so they are the radicals. So this phase is known as phase of radical republicanism. This phase is known as phase of radical republicanism. The power is hijacked, and this phase is